Want you to bind my ring. Bind my ring.
That's anything that's not been done to your ring,
Please
isn't it?
bind my ring.
Oh, they did, though, didn't they, when they got rid of the...
They did when I had an anal fissure. I had to have my anus sewn up. That's a true story. It was the most painful thing ever.
You know when you had the hemorrhoids?
Yes.
Did they tie them off like a lamb's tail?
Yeah.
Gosh.
But they did it in front of students.
Because they were so extreme?
No, just...
this is a good one. You want to see this?
I had piles, right? I had piles. I've got another one. Another one's just popped out.
Oh, man.
There's only one, and it's not bleeding. So what happens is the last taboo. So I had piles, and you go to the hospital and to get it checked, right? So you lie on, you take your trousers down to just below your knees, and you lie on your side with your knees hunched up, and a guy comes and pulls your bum apart and has a look, and he goes, right, you've got 6 piles. What we'll do is we'll book you in, come back, and we'll have them. You can either have them frozen off or banded off, where they put a little elastic band around
lamb's
it.
tail.
Because it's like a blood blister, little elastic band, and that stops the blood getting to it, and they drop off. I was like, fine. He says, it's not brilliant, it's not comfortable, but you'll feel better. They'll go. I said, right, fine, let's do it. So we did it. So I came back like a month later. Again, dropped the trousers just below the knee on the side. You look in there. And he said, so I went in, and he's not even a doctor. He just went, I'll go out.
Was he a porter?
I don't know what he was. He said he wasn't a doctor.
He worked there, though.
So he went out and I did it. And so I'm there lying there. And then he came in with like 6 young people and he said, do you mind if I bring some students in?
When they'd already walked in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not right.
Well, I thought, my ego minds. But I want bum technology to advance as much as it can, and if I have to be the anal guinea pig, then God damn it, I'll do it. If my Farmer Giles can help future generations learn about them, then God damn it, then let these young people
see your grapes,
see it. But it was awkward because 2 of them were quite fit.
What, your piles?
No.
Oh.
The medical students were quite fit. But anyway, and also then he went, by the way, you've got an anal fissure, which is basically a tear around your anus. Thing is, it wasn't because of that. But it means that when you poo, it feels like you're passing glass. Really painful, a lot of blood. And so, I had to go and have my arse sewn up.
Yeah. Very hard to heal that area, keep it clean.
Oh, God, no, it really is, right? And what the guy said to me, he said, don't worry, they can do it's a general anaesthetic, but you'll be able to go to work that night if you want, right? I was like, okay, brilliant. So I didn't take the day off, I was on absolute, I didn't take the night off work, and I went in the morning, and about 11, you go in, there's a general anaesthetic. I'd never had a general anaesthetic before. Bear in mind, I was about like 7-8 years clean it, so I hadn't had anything. And they give you general anaesthetic. It wasn't gas. It was 2 injections. Mm-hmm. The first injection, she said, you might feel a little bit drunk. Whoa, man! My eyes were like darting. And it was like I was pilled up and my eyes were darting. I was thinking, whoa, baby! Whoa! And she said, I'm about to give you the second injection. I was going, no, don't! This is great! Honestly, gave me the second injection and suddenly you're out. There's that thing, they count back and you get to 8 and so it's gone. And then the next thing you know, it's the deepest sleep. The next thing you know, someone's going, Mr. Lee, time to wake up. I was like, I don't want to wake up. And then you're just like on a ward, like a day ward. You're not meant to stay there. And you're sort of wearing like a nappy, right? And flipping it, my arse was sore. And she said, right, you've got to just lay on your side. Maybe I was on my back. You've got to lay down for a couple of hours. You can't move for a couple of hours, right? And she said, have you got anyone coming to pick you up? I went, no. I was told I could go home on my own and go, I'm going to work tonight. She said, I don't think you are. So I was lying there for about 4 hours. I was in agony, right? And I had to get up and go for a pee. And she said, just be careful when you get up. There might be a little bit of discharge.
Oh, God.
Right. So I got up and I went into the toilet. I was off my face. Right? I was all over the place. I was having a pee. And just like this juice was dripping out of my bum. Juice. Horrible juice. Bum juice was pouring out of me all over the floor. I hope you're looking away and heaving your shoulders because you're crying, not laughing. It's laughing, isn't it? It's laughing. You're laughing at my bum gravy. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's okay. That's okay. So it's the last taboo. And so I went back and I cleared it up as best I could.
Oh, God.
And I went back and she said, "Are you all right?" I said, yeah, I'm fine. She goes, "Are you well enough to go home?" If my wife came, I said, yeah, no, I'm fine. I think, I don't want to go home. I said, yeah, no, I'm fine. So I went home. I was off work for 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. She said, they say...
When did the seepage stop?
About 10 days. She said, probably best they'll give you laxatives because you don't want to pass a stool.
No.
Because that will rip it. And you're right. You've got sew up on your bum, so you don't want to get Marmite in there. You don't want to get Marmite in the jam jar. Huh?
Shouldn't be jam in there, right?
It was bloody.
Yeah.
And
that's the Marmite jar. You don't...
And so I was off for 3 weeks, and I'd said to them, "Look, I'm not really a fan of drugs. I want the kind of lowest painkiller I can have." I gave them very honest. I want the lowest painkiller I can have that will be effective, but isn't going to send me loopy because I like drugs a lot, man. And so they gave me one called, I think it was propanol, and tramadol. Right, I'd never heard of these drugs, right? Because I don't know. I was always a street drug kind of guy. I wasn't a pharmacist. So I'm thinking, he's listened to what I've said. So I'm popping these tramadol. I was travelling through time. Honestly, I was travelling through time, and I rewrote. I lived the whole series of Lost in a day in my head, and I came up with a much better ending than they did. I was tripping my nuts off. And my arse hurt a lot. Why are we talking about that? Why have you made me talk about that? What?
You said about binding your ring.
Why was I talking about that, Anonymous?
I don't know, it sounds lovely.
Is it working for you?
Yeah, sure. 8 now.
Hey! We found his level. Are you sticking around a bit longer?
About 45 minutes, probably, half hour.
All right, well, we'll have a word just before 12. Is that all right?
Sweet.
You hang up if you want to hang up, though. Strange guy. We've got a lodger tonight. We don't know who he is. He just can't listen to us wherever he is, so he's phoned up to listen down the line.
When you got up to go to the loo,
yeah,
did you feel like when you first did it? Oh, you were under the influence a bit, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you feel like everything was going to fall out?
The first number two?
When you walked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was wearing a nappy.
That's what it's like when you've just had a baby.
Really?
Yeah. They ring the bell.
This is probably. I don't want to be disrespectful. This is probably a little bit worse than having a baby. Probably more painful.
How big were those piles?
Yeah, I don't want to be disrespectful.
£8.4?
Yeah, but the vagina is bigger than an anus. So, and a vagina can...
I don't know. I've heard about yours.
Yeah, okay, all right, that's good. Homophobia. But but also the cervix can kind of separate, and that's how it allows things to pass through. So it's not actually...
silly me. So why did it hurt so much?
Yeah, it's not actually...
Was I doing it wrong?
It's not actually passing through a vagina that we know and love.
I quite like it.
That we...
It's
not passing through the kind of vagina that we've seen in movies and documentaries and jazz mags.
Oh, a fun one. A fun-gina.
It's passing through one where the cervix is separated. It's a swollen vulva. So it's actually
it was swollen after. Yeah.
It's not as small as that. It's actually quite big. So yeah. So with respect, what happened to me was worse.
Okay.
But
when they said it's time to eat, ladies, did you all come out of various side wards in dressing gowns, hobbling like Dawn of the Dead?
No. We were all in a ward.
Because we did.
We were in a day ward.
Yeah.
I wasn't particularly hungry, which again just shows how ill I was. I wasn't hungry.
Oh, right. Should be being greedy then.
You know I'm a feminist.
Are you?
And I've got so much respect for you girls. I think what you do in terms of mothering, around the home, with your beautiful, beautiful bodies. I think you girls are great. I really do. I've got so much respect for you girls. But sometimes you've got to think about other people, and that maybe, just maybe
childbirth is
not the worst thing that could happen to a human body downstairs. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Just.
What, having a whole person pop out? That's.
Well, they're tiny.
Walk in the park.
Well, they're tiny.
Not that tiny.
Well, they're tiny.
They're not that tiny.
As we've established, the vagina enlarges, and also their heads are soft. That's another thing that you don't mention. Their heads are soft because their skull hasn't covered their brain. This is true. Babies, you can see their brain pulsating with evil thoughts. The baby is designed. The baby is not as big
as we make out.
As what we see when you see a baby on TV that's just been born, it's not. It's probably a couple of days old, and they grow a lot in those couple of days because they're suckling on a teat. Sorry if this is getting a little bit graphic for you guys, a little bit medical, but we're adults here having an adult chat. So the vagina, you got a big old vagina. You got a tiny little baby, and you compare that to a torn anus.
A anus.
If you wish.
Big old vagina. 3 words I didn't expect to hear together tonight. Especially with the prefix you've got. A. Well, you're right. Yeah, I'm bang to rights.
Yeah, good.
But it did hurt, though.
I'm not denying.
And yeah, I did it again. Why would I do that?
Well, exactly. I've not gone to have my arse sewn up a second time. So I think you've just proved my point, and I respect you for that. 0344. They need to grow up. 0344 499 1000. Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
I've got a very poor internet connection.
On Talk Radio.
Honestly,
God.
it was like a chewed orange.
I won't tell you the story that Katherine just told me.
You can tell it.
All right. When she went to the toilet for the first time after having a baby, she had to hold her fanny in.
Yeah. Because you feel like everything's going to fall out, right?
She had to hold it in.
People say, oh, if you're pregnant at the moment, if you've not had a baby before, listen away now, because I'm going to tell you exactly what it feels like when you've had a baby. It feels like someone's been kicking you up the jacksie up the hole repeatedly with a very sharp boot with a knife on the end of it. That's what it feels like. So imagine you need to go for a poo.
Oh, for God's sakes, Katherine, now you're
Obviously,
just
I don't do that. It's all glitter and rainbows. But when I pass glitter and rainbows, it's like your human poo, right?
Oh, for God's sakes. Really
when you sit down, you feel like everything is like everything's about to fall out. So the nurse said, just get some loo roll and just hold the front if you feel so you feel more secure. And that's how I managed it. So, ladies and some gentlemen, bear that in mind. It's all still up there.
Oh God! Well, we got a caller on the line now. We'll go to a caller after your filth chat.
Well,
good evening, Sue.
Sue knows.
She's totally correct. It's totally correct what she said.
Oh, what, you had to hold yours in?
Well, it feels like it's all going to fall out.
Oh. I mean, my first child, it was just exactly like Kath described. It was just, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't move. Disgusting.
Yeah, well, but again...
in tatters, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. And they tell you it's all going to be lovely and wonderful, and they put her on my body, they put her on my breast, and they said, Frau Clark, you might want to hold your baby now.
Oh God.
Because I was just like so out on the drugs and...
Well, those I don't know if you did NCT, Sue... But I went to NCT classes, and they make it sound like it's going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah. No, it was the worst experience of my life.
Yeah.
But also, it's countered by the best thing that's ever happened, because you feel this, especially with the first one. It's not that you don't like the second one as much.
Well.
But with the first one, it's that first rush of... if you're lucky, because I know some women don't feel that way straight away, but if you get this rush of, you don't know this person, but you adore them, you do anything for them straight away, and it's just the most amazing person you've ever seen in your life. It just all comes over you in a wave.
Well, they climbed on top of me. We're in Switzerland, so we're a little bit far behind where we are in the UK, and they literally climbed on top of me. and literally got and pushed her out of me.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. What, the midwife climbed onto you and pushed down through the
there
stomach?
Was about 4 or 5 people ran into the room in white coats, and they literally climbed on the bed and pushed her out of me.
What, like you're a heifer?
Yes. Don't laugh.
That's terrible.
I want to see. I'm going to Google that.
Oh, God, don't.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's not like NCT, where you go to NCT and it says, oh, well, when the time comes, you can agree to have whoever you want in there, and you want to make that space your own, so take some candles and maybe your own duvet. I didn't want anything that I couldn't burn in there.
Everyone in our NCT class pretty much wanted to either do it at home or do it in the hippie ward. I can't remember what it was. There's like a birthing pool.
Water birthing.
Yeah, but there's a water, and the hospitals near us, some of them had these facilities, where there were no drugs and stuff, and that's what my wife wanted. Of course,
they have like handles from the ceiling. And
as soon as we got to the hospital, she's going, right, I want drugs, and the nurse is going.
I hadn't even taken my coat off when I asked for an epidural.
But the nurse is going. But Mrs. Lee, you said we've got this. No, I want drugs. Oh, it was great. It was great.
It was absolutely the worst experience of my entire life.
Yeah.
They put her onto me. She was purple.
Yeah. Oh, God.
She had literally one eye open, and they said, Frau Clark, maybe you want to talk to your baby and put your arms around her. And I was just like zonked out because they give me all the petadone and the maximum amount of drugs that you can give anyone in that situation.
Good for you.
So yeah, it was bloody awful.
But Sue, with respect, now imagine that on your anus. And I think you'll both agree if you think about it, that what I went through and many other men go through is probably significantly worse.
But the thing that they did to your anus, did you have to take it home and raise it for 18 years and pay for it?
I bring it to work with me every day. I have to feed it.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay.
Just put it this way.
Go on.
My second child was born 1 year later.
Oh, Sue.
Yeah, literally 1 year later.
That wasn't on purpose, was it? No.
It wasn't planned that way, but yeah.
Join me, Iain Lee, for interesting conversations you don't usually hear on the radio.
Week Monday, I get shoes.
Dolly Parton, I listen to a record all day long.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
That was the most profoundly upsetting call I've ever heard in my life.